Hey everyone, it's Erin Melton back again. And again, I know that I always say I'm super excited about who's on here, but I am really jazzed about Beth Silverman being on with us today. Beth, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm so happy to be here. Love
Ab-
it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Beth, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into real estate.
Well, 4 years ago, I moved the business to sunny St. Petersburg, Florida. I live in paradise. But prior to that, I was in Maryland. Johns Hopkins is my alma mater, and I had a
Okay.
real estate business there for 7 years. And prior to that, I hail from New York. And if you couldn't tell, I talk fast, I walk fast, I think fast, I sell fast. And I'm kind of this aggressive, abrasive, what you feel is like a typical New Yorker. And interestingly enough, when I came to Florida and I joined a brokerage, a big box brokerage, that was a big mistake. The broker sat down with me and said, Beth, yeah, you're gonna need to rein it in. Huh? She said, yeah, these Florida clients, they're not really gonna take to your this level of like passion and fire in you. And I was a little unhinged that my first initial meeting with this broker who was supposed to, be my source of support and education, she was kind of telling me that if I was my authentic self, I might not be successful in real estate in this area of Florida based on her assumption and knowledge of the clients. So you can imagine I wasn't with that brokerage for
Probably not too
very
long.
long, not too long. Didn't even find a lot of success there. But yeah, she was trying to squash my authentic self, which was quite interesting.
hmm I would think that your authentic self would be a bit difficult to squash.
100% correct.
That's good, and that is exactly why you're here and talking to us today because of that grit and being authentic. It's really the important components of having any success in anything, but particularly real estate, for sure. So, Beth, tell us a little bit about what your why is.
I
What's
love
your
this
why?
question. I love it because I often find that when people answer this question, we hear a lot of what's like, I would love to retire my mother. I want to
Yeah.
have a financial security, leave a legacy for my children. That is your
Mhm.
what. Your
Yes.
why is quite literally what is your purpose. And we know that purpose fuels passion.
Mhm.
And we can tell that I have a lot of passion.
Yes.
So for me, my why is this uncanny ability that I believe I possess to help people discover their best selves and really become who I already know they are, they
Yeah.
can be, or they will be. And that is my secret sauce. That is my why.
I love it. I love it. You remind me a lot different because he's a Southern boy. You remind me a lot of my husband. The
I
same
love
thing. Like,
it.
they see that potential in everyone, and it's like that is what drives them, and I don't know if you're the same way, you get frustrated when people just are like, "Why don't you see it? Why don't you
Yeah,
see it?"
I've learned to detach from outcomes. This is a newer
Oh,
thing for
yes.
me,
Yeah.
and also I don't have as much patience or wherewithal to stick with someone who isn't willing to do the uncomfortable work.
Yes.
But I know what I see, and I really see what I know is that if we all have what we need to navigate this life within
Right.
us, and we need to get really quiet and centered and attach ourselves to the people who are going to help us get there. But props to your husband, Brian, because I'm the same.
Yep. Y'all are the ones that really make the difference in the world, the movers and the shakers, for
We
sure.
try.
That's right. So, Beth, obviously, I am in total awe of the award that you got, the 2020 Mentor of the Year. Talk to everyone about what that means to you, how you got there, your whole process of what you do to be that absolute exceptional mentor.
Yeah, it's wild, right? What was EXP thinking? So
Mhm.
I became a mentor. I've been with the company 28 months now, and I became a mentor my first month. So I now have 11 years industry experience, but I was always really engaged and involved. And towards the end of 2019, I felt my mentoring style was a lot of trial and error, and I felt like there weren't really best practices. Like the company was developing so much resources for the new agent.
Right.
But I felt like there wasn't a lot of cohesive collaboration among mentors, which was ironic because our company is built on this core value of
Mhm.
knowledge sharing and collaboration. So fast forward, COVID hits and we shut down. And I lost a couple $1 million. I lost every deal I had. And I could have spiraled into a hole, which for 3 days I did. And I wanted to be mad and angry. And 3 days later, here's EXP launching the Excel series, and they're launching a 60-day guest pass for agents from any brokerage anywhere in the country to
Okay.
attend our training because suddenly everyone was shut down and you couldn't leave your house. And what about all those agents who couldn't learn? And here we are, we were built for this. And so I see EXP not even missing a beat. And
Mhm.
I Jay Kinder and John Kitchens and Al Stasic, man, they were in my ear and they were like, Beth, don't take your foot off the gas. Everything you do right now will determine and define how you come out of this. And I was still feeling, I felt motivated. I did. Um, but I think in the past in my life, I have always said this: when you feel hopeless, or when you feel lost, or when you feel a sense of despair, you
Mhm.
should volunteer. This is a motto I've lived by for a long time. I had cancer in my 20s. I've done a lot of charity work, and I've always felt that it helps you come back to center. And by volunteering, it just opens up different opportunities for you. And so here we are, kind of stuck at home. And I said to the program heads and some of leadership, I said, I have this idea. I said, I think some of the mentors are lacking this sharing of best practices. And I said, I'd like to teach them in EXP world called Mentor the Mentor. What do you guys think? And EXP said, okay. And a week later, they were like, we're going to give you 5 classes, 5 weeks. And suddenly here I was in front, being introduced by Curtis Dixon in front of, hundreds of mentors live. And then we were live streaming it to the thousands of mentors in the program. And here I was front and center about to teach what to do to be a great mentor. And this is a very unique and individual process as a mentor, as a mentee, how you vibe, what your
Right,
goals
right.
are. And so I wanted to kind of be able to teach these concepts of best practices and how to leverage our education. And 5 weeks, wouldn't you know, turned into 25 weeks. And the series really did provide this forward momentum for the mentors in the program. And then towards the end, we became really smart and we said, well, why are we just doing this for the mentors? Let's do knowledge sharing for the mentors and the mentees. And so the series leading up to our last virtual EXP Con, we were marching towards having, the mentor program auditorium was launched, and mentors and mentees could come in and be on that platform and learn together, which was fantastic. And so look, although I didn't get to have the fancy, Vegas awards dinner and the trophy, becoming mentor of the year has certainly afforded me several opportunities that I don't
Mhm.
think I otherwise would have had. And the title, frankly, it reminds me that the cause endures and that there's still a lot of work to do. Regardless of brokerage in this industry as a whole, the turnover rate for a new agent in their first 1 to 2 years, it's like 50 to
It's
80%.
very high.
So whatever we can do to cultivate, motivate, instill confidence, and drive people on a roadmap to success, that's our responsibility.
Yes.
So I definitely do know that this entire journey, and even where it's carried into 2021, which is my year of surrender, I continue to change my leadership style and I continue to grow. And that makes me a better mentor. Being a mentor really sharpens your skills because you got to practice what you preach.
Exactly.
Um, so it's a great way to get back to basics if you need a little reboot. And it's really interesting because you have learners who are all over. Some have dual careers, some are visual, some need to read. And so you really need to adapt and be agile, and really see your mentees as counterparts, and colleagues,
Mhm.
and that you're really just here as a vessel, one driving force to help them
Right.
succeed. So Yeah, I'm very honored to have the title. However, we're inching towards EXPCon in November, so it's going to be passed off to someone else. I'm eager to see who that person is. I've met a lot of great mentors along the way on this journey throughout our company, and yeah, man, there's a lot of great people out there. So I'm excited to see who takes it home this year.
Absolutely, absolutely. Beth, what would your adolescent so sorry. What would your adolescent self not recognize about you today?
This is a great question. I struggled with this question, by the way, because you know the egomaniacal part of me is like absolutely nothing. 8-year old Beth is this Beth. I said to my grandmother at 8, I was like, Grandma, everyone's gonna love me, and she said, Beth, no, they're not. And I said, just watch. I think if you told 8-year old Beth that 26-year old Beth was going to get cancer and going to spend many years trying not to die, and she was going to come out on the other side, 8-year old Beth would have been like, yep. And if you told 8-year old Beth that this whole world of technology was going to open up and that social media was going to give me even more of a platform to reach out and connect to someone who is so far from me in distance, 8-year old Beth would have been like, that's great because the world is my stage. Give me an avenue to reach even more people. But it is wild that little girl could have had no idea how much social media and technology would influence our lives, not just real estate, every single thing that we do. So I'm yeah, but I think I even look the same. I'm the
Really?
same. Yeah.
I'll have to look back to your profile, see if I see any little girl pictures. I'm sure you're right.
I think there's a pair in Oshkosh Bagosh suspenders.
Oh, the best, the best. Only the cool kids wore the Oshkosh Bagosh, for sure, for sure. Beth, what does being part of EXP and more specifically Honey Badger Nation, how does that make you feel?
It it first of all gives me all the feels. Um, they say to feel loved is great, but to feel understood is profound. And just taking the EXP side of this for a minute, I mentioned in the beginning that broker wanted me to be something other than who I am.
Right.
And from the minute I arrived on scene at EXP, I'm talking about leadership, like our CEO, presidents, like SVP of agent services, some of the biggest icon agents. They saw and accepted me and have been invested in me. They saw early on that I wanted to be a champion for change and growth. We are growing at such an explosive rate. And I always wanted to feel like I was an anchor or a beacon. And I think people in leadership have seen that and they've given me that platform while celebrating who I am, but also inspiring me to grow, to become better. And it's apparent really in the 28 months from where I started to where I am now. And we've got a long way to go. But Honey Badger Nation, man, for better or for worse, Jay Kinder is the smart ass voice in my head every day. I talked about Jay and John Kitchens and Albie but so much more. Chuck and Angela Fazio, Veronica Figueroa, Kyle Whistle, Dan Beer, Nick Good, Gogo, Tina and Kevin Call. What's so incredible, Rebecca and Josue Soto, I could go on and on and on and on. And at Sekou Pile, these people are so invested in my success.
Yes.
Beth, we know you can't afford, 20 G's on John Cheplack for an hour, but you're going to come to me because I'm bringing him in for you. And here's my playbook. What you need help with this? Here's page 462.B. Go run with it. I have never felt such a level of support, regard, challenges, pushing me to think bigger, work harder, hustle very intentionally.
Yes.
And so being a part of the nation has changed my life. I have such eternal gratitude to everyone who's in it. And again, like I'm an active member consistently in that group. It is such an incredible blessing that this is the family that I found because I think it's exactly where I belong.
Absolutely. God, we're so happy to have you. And I know that I often, with all the people that we're surrounded by, people like you and all the people that you mentioned, um, it, I think it's a tendency for some people that are a little bit softer spoken like myself to be kind of like, okay, I'm glad you've got me here, but hopefully they don't pay attention to me too much. But then I was like, this is the what it does, the collaboration and the support and the drive and the like pushing you to these levels that you never saw yourself being at. That is phenomenal. And I love hearing it from people that are so demonstrative and so, I don't know, just inspiring like yourself to hear those
I
things.
appreciate it.
So, obviously, you've had a lot of success up to this point, right? What is important to you at this point in your career and in your life?
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone ever said, well, I'm successful now. I think I'll take a nap. So the hustle and the grind is really real. What I know is I am not going to rest anytime soon because this group has, every time you think you even attain more success, it's
Mhm.
like, here's everyone else.
Right,
And they're saying, hey, Beth, you come on, your rocket ship is heading this way too.
right.
But the work is never going to stop. I really feel, well, at least not for 5, 7, 10 years. I definitely do know that I'm working toward, having that time freedom and getting there. But I know that I'm not there yet. I know that I have got some really big ideas.
Mhm.
And again, really, it's just a lot of grind, a lot of hustle, but it is with intention.
Mhm.
And it's very much involving the people around me.
Yes.
I have a new definition of success. It really is when all the people around me are feasting from the same table as me. That is when I can determine that I have been successful.
Yes.
So that's exciting. Personally, I do have some pretty big goals on the horizon for the next year, but they are personal, so they're going to stay just that.
Wonderful.
Stay tuned for those announcements if they ever come. I doubt they
Okay.
will. It's funny because you live out loud so much on social media. I'm
Yes.
so
Yes.
engaged on
Mhm.
Instagram, but it is still very much not contrived, but it's very purposefully delivered. And
Yeah.
I don't include a lot. When you overshare so much,
Yes.
people just think they know everything about me. I don't
Right.
include a lot of my personal life on social media. I really just stick to some of the things that I'm passionate about. But so I do have some big things cooking,
Good.
and yeah, I'm so excited. For me, it feels like quarter 3 as we head into it, and we've got a couple days to go. My whiteboard says, passion fuels purpose. Remember why you started. And quarter 3 for me, I'm on pace to do more production than I've not only ever done in my career, but like it's a wild number. And I'm so incredibly inspired and excited. And I just know that every single quarter it just keeps on getting so much better. And boy, I'm here for it.
I love it. Well, Beth, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. I know that everyone in EXP and Honey Badger Nation is so grateful for the vision that you've brought to the mentor program for both mentors and mentees. And I'm really excited about diving in, finding out more, and hopefully contributing and giving back the way you have, for
Appreciate
sure.
you.
Thank you so much, Beth. Great seeing you.